Talk Facing the Lion podcast.
Good morning, and it is Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We are your podcast all about emotions, feelings, and the experience thereof. You know, it's not always that we faced or face negative emotions or experience of negativity. We face positive. Do you remember the song by the Partridge Family? If you are of my age group, the Partridge Family sang Come On, Get Happy. That song, I love that song because it's always promoting happy. Or Pharrell's Happy. Those are upbeat. Those are positive emotion. We're asking the question when we're talking about discussion in our Think About Thursday. We're asking you to think about it, and we're asking you to think about the last time that you experienced happiness. And we're going to talk about happiness and what that means to you. Because when we are talking and discussing emotions, our feelings, the experience of the feelings, we really get deep into it. Now let's get deep into what our happiness means. We all have experienced the happiest moments, the happiest place. We've all thought about what makes us happy. When was the last time that you experienced the thought or a place of happiness, and why? If you have ever experienced it, and we know you have at some point in your life, I would love for you to call in. Call into our direct connect. Our direct connect is 1888. Good morning. Our call is 1888, okay, 721 You guys ready? 721-9260 1-888-721-9260. We're asking that question about happiness. When was the last time that you experienced happiness? Everyone has a different version of... Sorry about that. Everyone has a different meaning of what their happiness is. We hope, despite everything that's going on, that you can go back to happier times. We've all had that. Let's start with, though, your emotion of happiness. Let's start with that because that's important to think about what it means to be happy. When was the last time that you truly were happy? And as we're happy, let's think about some amazing happy thoughts. You ready? We're going to think about how to get you feeling happy or thinking about happier times. Now, when you think about happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So would you say that happiness is a mindset? Now we realize that everyone can't be happy all the time, every day. And we realize that people have experienced being the opposite of happiness, which is unhappy. But we want you to think about variations of happiness. I want you to think about this. Whoever is happy will make others happy. The power of finding beauty in the humblest things makes home happy and life lovely. What is true happiness? And do you really want to be happy? When you think about small efforts that happen in your life, day to day, from hour to hour, we have been fortunate to collect within ourselves happiest moments. No one can tell you how to be happy. And if you were to put different groups in a room, you would get different experiences on what exactly is happiness. When can you be happy? Let's start right now. Let's start to think about our lives in a happy state. We realize that not everyone is going to experience happiness. Here's a quote. The thing everyone should realize is that the key to happiness is being happy by yourself and for yourself. We think about other people who make us happy, and we probably have a list that we've created of all the people that have made us happy. I can think of a few myself. But when you think about yourself, maybe being by yourself, what is a happy moment for you? I'll tell you some happiest moments for me. Candles make me happy. The lighting of them and their ambience. I love scented candle with a great sense of smell. I'm not into really perfumey, but I like scented, like uh, vanilla. Can you smell it? I like cocoa butter. I like the smell of baking apple pies. The list of my candles goes on and on. And I'll tell you what, if you're not into candles, the next time you go to Walmart, they have a section devoted to candles. Take a smell and watch how your adrenaline reacts to the smell. Your nose tells you if that's a happy smell or not. That's an assignment, by the way. Everybody goes to Walmart to spend a few moments in the candle aisle. Oh my. Another thing that makes me happy are flowers. I was in the store the other day and I realized the array of flowers. Have you thought about that not every flower has a smell, but the sight of the various colors, the various details, and the different kinds of flowers, it makes my mind happy. Think about it. And if you've ever heard children laughing and playing, wow, I can actually hear it. So we can feel happy, see happy, and hear happy. Wow. It's up to us. In our lives, there are darkest moments, sad moments, tragic moments. But the happiness that we can go back to surpasses all of that. When people are devastated from whatever tragedy they've dealt with, the most common thing that they will say is they remember a happier time. When you're losing a loved one or have lost a loved one, the mind protects itself because it goes back to the happier memories with that someone that you are losing or that you have lost. For those of you that are going through perhaps separation, divorce, loss, I want to talk to you for just a moment. Good morning, Trish.
Good morning.
For just a moment to the people that are married or have gotten married. Do you remember that day? You know, the happiest moment that you said was in your life. This was the happiest day because you married the one that you love. Do you remember how when you looked at he or she, how butterflies were literally felt in your stomach? You got warm and fuzzy because you were in love with that person. Now that day, which was supposed to be the happiest day of your life, you walked down the aisle hand in hand after you said your nuptials, your vows, and there we are looking on to what is deemed the happiest day of your life. But perhaps some of you are not so happy with the one that you said you vowed to love, death do us part. You were happy. Now, not so much so happy, especially if you're going through what is a heartbreak, what is an nasty, terrible divorce, a split from the happiest day of your life. Now let's go back for a moment because when you've said your vows, so many people have written their own vows. I think it's beautiful. And if you're like me, I watched a series called A Wedding Story. It comes on our local channel sometimes. Beautiful wedding, the most beautiful weddings you could have ever thought of. But now here you are, unhappy with the one that you said that you would love. Through sickness and through good times and bad times. And you were so happy as you exchanged your vows. And we get it. We get it. I myself have been through a separation, a divorce, breakups, heartbreaks, the person that you once thought you'd be with forever. You can't stand to look at him or her. And if you've got kids, you're now fighting over those children. You are not deemed happy. Why? Because the other person made you unhappy? Or is it because you're unhappy? Which is it? Because you were not now. We can be happy. If Keith Partridge from the Partridge Family series can make a song about come on, get happy, and Pharrell can make you dance to the song of happy, and so many other tunes, be happy, don't worry. If you're happy and you know it, what does that tell you? That you are in control of your happiness, although there will be some unhappy times. Now let's think about it. What has been your happiest moment, Trish?
I had so many. My happiest, I'd say my happiest moment I had was when my brother came back from the military. That was my happiest moment.
And why was that your happiest moment?
Because I haven't seen him in a while and I miss my brother and I worry a lot about him and just seeing him well and seeing that he's doing better as a person, it just makes me happy to see him come home.
And now what Trish just demonstrated as our co-host, she just demonstrated awareness of what happiness is. Now, do you have the same happiness? I say to you, audience? You might say, well, no, I haven't experienced that. But now, are you happy for Trish that that was her happy moment? You all would say resoundingly, yeah. See, we thrive off of seeing other people happy too. I'm happy when I see the underdog, so to speak, the one who is treated lesser, be on the winning team. They're winning. Those are happy moments for me too. And I'm happy when I can help others to help themselves. And I'm most happiest when I have clarity on helping myself. Let's talk about the opposite of happiness, Can we talk about that for a minute? What do you guys think the opposite of happiness is?
Sadness.
What do you think? Yeah, sadness. Yeah, some other things.
Anger.
Anger. Because no one's happy when they're angry, right? You can't say he was really happy because he was angry. That doesn't make sense, does it? When you think about happy, you think about that. It's the opposite of what is sad. When you think about happiness, there are other words for happiness. Joyful, satisfied, thrilled, in a good mood, gleeful, cheerful, content, jumping for joy. What else? So many other words. Let's think about your joy. I gave you a list of things that make me happy. But what does your list look like? Let's try and make a list for ourselves today, thinking about what makes us happy. Because you see, even though we have a healing center now, did you know that at the healing center, it does not always mean that you're going to come and talk about the sad times, the challenging times. You're going to talk about the things that have inspired you. Because when we find others who inspire us, does that make us sad? Or do we cheer them on to keep going? Trish, what is on your list of what makes you happy? You said one, but give me four more.
Okay. So for other things that make me happy is one is eating spicy foods. My favorite spicy food is Takis. I live for those. They're my favorite chips. I love them. Or anything with lime. Lime and spice, that's me. Send it my way. And another thing that makes me happy is hearing people laugh. I love laughter all around me. I just love it. And I like to make my siblings laugh when they're sad. So I just love laughter altogether. Third thing that makes me happy is reading the Bible or certain stories in the Bible. That makes me very happy and also makes me interested because my happiness comes from knowing things as well. I'm gonna put that at number 4. I have joy when I know things and when I research stuff. So that's 4 things that makes me happy.
So when we think about our list of happiness, I'd love for you guys to call in. Uh, we had a caller earlier, but they, for some reason, weren't responding. So our number to call is 1-888-721-9260. We're going to talk about being. Sometimes in our life when we begin to worry and we have sleepless nights. And we're just lying awake and lying awake and lying awake. And we find it hard to do to just go to sleep because we have something weight on us. You feel your chest get heavy. You've got one worry, two worries, 10 worries, 20. Sometimes in life, when we're like that, we can unburden ourselves. We can do things to unburden ourselves, to make the worry subside. Do you know that I have, in recent years, since lifetime, discovered in myself that I have the power to do it? Did you notice that I didn't say go away, subside? It's like having a really bad headache, and you know you've got this headache. The next thing you do is do something active. That means that you're going to do something about the state of that headache. The headache are the burdens in your life. You have too many bills, like the rest of us. You say, I know I need to pay it, or I know I need to do this. Because, see, the remedy for the bad headache is very simple. You take an aspirin for it. Now, many of us have done that. How many times have we taken an aspirin for a bad headache? See, the challenge that you face is trying to get the headache to stop. Sometimes we take the aspirin and it subsides our headache. It quiets it down because some headaches are unbearable. They become heavy, too much for us to handle. And those are more of migraine headaches. So you take this and you say, I'm going to quiet it down just a little. So the aspirin or the Tylenol or whatever it is that you take, it's going to hush the headache. But those headaches will come. Are you happy? No, not unless you love headaches. Make that make sense. So now we're going to talk about how can we help ourselves to regain that happiness. I found myself sleeplessly the other night. I would doze off for like 10, 20 minutes and wake up. I kept doing this all night. So finally, I decided, you know what, I'm going to watch a funny movie because I was so worried, like as if I had a headache in my chest and it was burdening me. I was worried from sleep. Some people say worried to death. When you found out that your worries are going to kill you, see how you discovered that? So I began to watch what was always and will always be funny to me. And I was watching it, and the actor is very funny. But even then, I questioned my happiness because I was overwhelmingly worried. So here I was in this state of worry and unhappiness. Because that's what it really was. Sometimes watching a funny movie may not always help. But I'll tell you what does help. I'm a praying person, and I pray, not to thin air. I pray to the God of all hearers of prayer. And there I was, asleep. We, we can't tell you what to do. I am not a doctor. But what's your list look like? You know, some people get happy by thinking about what they're thankful for. I saw the saddest thing with the California firestorms. Another person had lost their home. Here they were walking through ashes. They were two adult sisters, and they were talking back and forth to each other as the sister grabbed her mouth to keep from sheer breakdown. They were talking and going over their memories. And she said to her sister, "Oh, look, my daughter's, I don't know what it was. It was a car seat." And the sister said something, as sisters do, in a joking way. And there they were, laughing moments. Does that mean that she was no longer naturally unhappy due to her house or their childhood home being burned to the ground? They found a moment to be happy. See, because the mind triggers that as well as triggers unhappiness. And I found that to be enlightening despite seeing the tragedy. How many of us listen to positive music? I love positive music. Love songs, smooth jazz, old school, some country, soft rock. My list goes on and on. And I find that when I get in my car, I'm able to have a playlist of all the songs I personally picked. So I know it's good music, and it makes me happy. I used to drive for Lyft and Uber, and every time I played my selected songs, you know what the people would say? I, I love your music. See how happiness affects other people? They were happy. How about this one? How many times, instead of having people do something for us, have we done something for others? How do you feel with your tables, do something for someone. We talked about just because last week, but you do it for them just because. My mother, I think about my mother, and my mother likes to hire her gardeners. And my mother is very particular, and I love her for this. My mother, literally, one time I saw her literally make a plate of food for the gardener. That made me happy that I had a mom like that gave. And I have saw my mother do that to not just one person. You know, sometimes we can get really mad at our parents, or we can do this, but that brings me happiness to know that my mother is like that. Or I've seen my mother bake a cake for her garden. You know, I mean, that's just the kind of mother I am. How about us doing something? Creativity. Chris and I, we talk about that a lot, especially when we are shaping the vibe talk facing the lion podcast. And now this really talk about creativity. This weekend, I had the opportunity to be able to see our healing center be put together. It's almost together. I'm taking the pictures and I'm going to put up the healing center creativity so you can see what we're doing with donations, what we're doing with money sent to us. And there my two nieces were, and they were having mother and daughter having fun, just creating and painting butterflies. And the creativity from each of them brought something to the table that made me happy, and they were happy. How about that one? What do you do for your happiness? I want you to really think about that. You know, we are not a do it as I say podcast. Do everything I say podcast. We are a listen and then take something from our podcast. You hear me? Come a little closer. We are a listen and take something away. Listen and respond. We have over 500 podcasts, and we're never going to tell you what to do because you know the mind has a power of choosing or not to choose, and we respect whatever you do. How many of you reward yourself? Anybody reward yourself? Trish, do you reward yourself?
Yes, I do sometimes.
Yeah, I'm going to reward myself today. I've been in a lot of pain, so basically I have not been to the office today. Today will be the first day that I'm actually able to get out of bed and go to the office. I like to reward myself. Rewarding yourself can be a variation of things. One time I rewarded myself by going to buy me a necklace, while another time I rewarded myself by buying myself an ice cream or a yogurt. See how to go to the bigger things. It's the simple things in life that you can find happiness. I like photography, and I do professionally photography when I can. And I love photography. Such beautiful pictures. If you look around, you can take so many photos of things that you love. That's important. We are encouraging you today to get happy, to find out where your happiest spots lie. Do you feel happy? Do you see happy? Do you hear happy? See, because we all have senses. Food, like Trish talked about, the lime, and how that makes her happy. The talking and how that hot food makes her happy. Spicy food. Rather. We all have those moments where we are so happy. You don't necessarily have to get married for that to be your happiest day in your life. I love going to Disneyland. Like that is my third home. But I want to ask, do you necessarily have to leave home to be happy? Let's talk about that for a moment. We're going to get real deep as you feel in your home at this moment and at this present time. Are you happy in your home? There has been truly a time when I was not happy in my home. And I wasn't happy not because of me. I was happy because I decided to allow other people to live in my home. My my creative sanctuary. I let someone live there. And so what did they decide to do? Overstay their welcome. And I'm not going to recommend to anybody to let people stay with you or not. But when it starts to erode your happiness, erode your environment, there is something the matter. We must understand. So as you're sitting in your home, are you? There is nothing like a home that you live in and you're not. I found myself in that spot, and I found out I had to work through it, and the problem wasn't as easy as I thought. But I learned how to create happiness and practically and forth. Then sometimes we have to do that. My other question is, why are you unhappy in your home as if you have no control? Did you hear what I just said? Why are you unhappy in your home as if you have no control. Let me tell you, I'm bringing this to you raw and real. Everyone doesn't have the happiness that you may have in your home at this moment, at this time. I hear a lot of things, ladies and gentlemen, that would make your hair literally, even if you were a bald man or woman, your hair would stand. You are in control of your happiness. How do we know that? Because we just demonstrated to you what makes you happy. You see, if I see beautiful flowers, I'm already drawn to those flowers. My adrenaline rushes. So I'm reacting to what I'm seeing, and I feel happy. And every week I want to bring myself new flowers to put in my house. They're beautiful. Flowers are unending. That's happiness, pure bliss and joy. We are responsive, what it signals to our brain, and what our brain does. And when I see children that are happy or talking, my first reaction is always to talk to that kid. Because you don't even have to ask what they're happy about. They're going to tell you. They're going to tell you. If it's your pets that you're happy about, I want you to say that. Because there's absolutely no reason for you to be living and breathing and not to be able to be with the fire. Come a little closer to me. While you are living and breathing, there's absolutely no reason for you not to find your you're in control of it. I've had people say to me about each other, he or she or they make me unhappy. But if you break it down, we should be asking the question, why am I so unhappy? You know, a lot of times when we've grown up as kids, when we cry, our parents tell us to stop that crying. Well, if you hear someone crying, does that signal to your brain that they're happy? Because you know what we do when we hear people laughing? We say, "What's so funny," right? But the moment someone's unhappy, such as a child, we have learned and trained ourselves to say, "Stop that crying," or "Shut up before I give you something to cry for." You see what our brain has done? When in actuality, we should change that to, what's the matter? What makes you so unhappy? Why are you crying? I'll tell you a funny story, and this is a real story. When my oldest was little, he always whined. Always whined. He did this till he was about 6 years old. Always whining and hanging on to me. And I never knew how he was going to turn out. Thank God that he is independent and knows how to take care of himself. But I have this one friend, and instead of me getting irritated at him, she had what was a crying room just for him. You all laugh, right? And I'm talking to you parents too. Because if there ever was a crying kid, I had the crying kid. And everybody in the family and all my friends would tell you that was your crying kid, my oldest. You know what she told him one day? He proceeded to whine and cry, and he would do this for long periods of time. She reached down to him and she said, if you want to cry, it's okay to cry. You can go into the crying room. I'll show you where the crying room is. I thought that was perfect. Sometimes we're frustrated. We're frustrated at why a child is not a happy child or wants to whine. And our reaction wants them to shut up, stop that crying, instead of using rubrics like all of it. See, he knew that he didn't want to go into the crying room, and all things don't work for different children. One thing doesn't work for all children. It stopped him from crying because he didn't want to go to crying. We must understand why those around us are happy. But first, help them to understand. That kid never cried in that house again. He didn't get beat. I didn't get frustrated and punch him. Lord, Lord knows I could have gotten there because I had the whiniest child, and he did this until he was 6 years old. I want you to stop and think about the things that you can do instead of telling your child to stop crying. Find out what's the matter. Our children are training us, and that's why we, the parent, may be walking around unhappy because that child, you want that child to be a happy child 24/7, like it's a wind up happy doll. Not in my world does that exist. I'm begging you parents to bend down to your children and find out what's the matter. Because it'll stop your censorship. There's a lot of child abuse going on. And if you ever feel like that, we ask that you get on the phone and call child abuse hotline. That number should be in our comments. But we are talking about happiness. How do we get there? The one thing that I want you to know is the brain power to your happiness is in your brain. No one can make you be unhappy. You control that. You can't control their happiness. They can't control yours. If you've ever been happy in your lifetime, you can get happy again. Guaranteed. But it's going to be up to you to find out, how am I going to maintain or get happy? And is it going to be a satisfaction of happiness? Because some people like to get happy through drugs, alcohol, and other things that may not be so good. That list can go on. So let's think about our happiness, and let's think about the times when we had the happiest moments. Even if you ask uh, some people that have really lost, and I'm going to go back to the fire because it has affected me, because my friends have lost. I want you to think about it. I want you to realize that, they too have had happiness. A 94-year-old woman, as she lay in the ash in her wheelchair among her burnt down home, realized that everything that she had, all of her happy memories on paper, that is, gone. How old did I say she was? A mere 94 years. Do you think she had a lot of memories? She proceeded to say, my children grew up in this house, and there were a lot of memories. Now, can you match that? She lived in that house some 60 years, and yet she had nothing but sheer memories in her mind. 94 years old. Now that's a strong mindset. We're going to be right back with our very own Trisha. We'll be right back. Right?
Vibetalkfacingthelionpodcast.
We are back with our very own Trish.
I have a niece and I think 5 nephews because I have so many. And I love to see them happy. Like, I would see my niece, and we have 2 steps towards our dining room and living room, connecting them together, and she loves to climb them. And I always watch her when she was like 1, like it was hard for her to go up there, so she would climb them. And I would think, okay, well, she's learning, but still, I would shout. I'll be like, be careful, be careful. I would tell her that all the time. And she would smile while doing it. She'll continue to run around and crawl around. And when she visited us again, she she could successfully walk up and down the steps. And I was like, I kept shouting, be careful, be careful. And it's like it's like she wasn't listening to me because she's like, I got it, Auntie. I got it. Like, I don't need your help. But I was so happy to see that she can actually climb, she can actually walk those steps without any help. And to see her run around and play with my dog and just like enjoy music. She loves music. She loves dancing to music. And she was standing in front of the TV. And then all of a sudden, she would start crying. Like, we were wondering, why is she crying? Like, she was just dancing in front of the TV. And so, what I would do with me and my sisters, we would grab her bottle, we'll grab her toys, and we'll grab her tablet. And so, I hold up the bottle and I say, bottle, and she continues to cry. And I'm like, okay, she doesn't want her bottle. And my other sister, she'll lift up she'll lift up the tablet and she'll be like, tablet? And my niece, she'll reach for the tablet and she'll grab the tablet and she'll walk to the couch and get on the couch and turn it to what she wants to watch. And I'm like, whoa, okay. I'm like, she's so smart. And so I'm thinking, wow, she really knows what makes her happy. She knows what will calm her down. She understands that, okay, I don't want to watch the big TV anymore. I want my tablet now. And it just fascinates me and it makes me think about, okay, so I should be aware of the things that make me happy. And if something doesn't make me happy, I'm not going to, well, I'm not going to say I'm not going to cry about it because sometimes the situation, it will make me emotional. So if I do get emotional about it, I'll embrace those emotions and look for something that will make me happy again. So, whatever makes you happy, find out what makes you happy if you're not sure about that. And it's okay to not be happy sometimes, but understand that it is just a season, it's just a moment, and we never know how long that unhappiness will last. But continue to find and discover what makes you happy.
Vibetalkfacingthelionpodcast. Vibetalk.
That's from our very own Trish. You can find Trish's treasures on our YouTube channel by the same name, Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Trish has some news to tell you about the YouTube channel. Trish?
So, guys, we have reached 51 subscribers. Yay. And we can now go live on YouTube. And so we'll be we'll be hosting our first premiere next week. And, and you guys will see it at 6:30 California time, and my time that will be 9:30 Eastern time. So don't miss it.
What day is it on?
It will be on Friday.
This Friday?
Next Friday.
And what's the date? Friday's date is Friday's date is Bear with me, guys. Bear with me, guys. I believe that's going to be 20. Oh my goodness, that's going to be the 31st. How about that? February 31st. So what do you need to do? You want to go live with us? Please go. Click the button. When we say subscribe to our page, there is nothing, guys, that you have to do but click on your notifications and click the button for life. It's just that simple. We're not asking you to pay into it. We don't have to do that because we do our own commercials that you see. We're smart. That's saying that you guys are not. So we don't have to ask you for that. If you feel like you want to donate, we're always including where you can donate. If you want to donate something that is not of monetary means, like money, you can donate snacks, certificates, uh, whatever you see deemed that we can. I just explained this to someone else. You know, everybody doesn't have money. And we're not pushing for money, but we are pushing for donations in snacks, water. Uh, Someone just donated chairs to us. Anything that we can use, we will gladly do it. It's for the healing center. We're not using it for our own personal gain. Okay? And we know that there is fraud everywhere. Trisha and I have only put up one GoFundMe and one Cashapp. If you don't see any of those things as pertaining to us, okay, and always call in too, so that you know if it's legit or not. In our toll-free number 1-888-721-9260. I wanted to say that because there's a lot of scammers out there and people are hesitant. But if you want to know which is our uh, places to donate, all you have to do is call us. We'll verify if you're not feeling comfortable. It's all for the healing center, and we've agreed to keep receipts. And also, if you donate, you will get a receipt. Let's say you go to Sam's Club, Walmart, or Costco, or your local grocery stores, and you decide, hey, I want to donate water or whatever it is, okay? You get a copy of your receipt, okay? And that's just business. It's keeping it professional, okay? So we want you to know that it is a free program, and our YouTube page is free. You'll never have to pay for it. We're not worried about monetizing our program. We're not worried about that, okay, guys? We know that there's a lot of hurting people. We've just experienced that with the recent fires. Locally, we don't know what's going on with people, but we know there's a lot of hurting people. So the healing center is for all the people that want to come. You don't have to worry about insurance. You don't have to worry about how much money you have. We just will gladly accept your donation. Thank you for joining us. And last but not least, Trish, what is your take home for life or flight?
My take home is that happiness is a choice, and also happiness should be appreciated as well, because happiness can sometimes go away, but it's very important to realize that happiness also comes from being grateful and the gladness of the things that you do have. So that's my take home.
I find that in my take home, thank you for that, Trish, that happiness is a state of being. Okay? Some people will find it awkward, you like when people talk about their memories. I'm going to listen. I'm not going to stop them from talking about their fond memories, especially if they call us and they want to come to the healing center. And we encourage you, if you are a victim of fire or have family, there is a healing center. You don't have to drive up to the healing center out in Palmdale, California. You can get online and we will sit down with you. And if you want to talk, cry, be happy, uh, we will listen to you. We will listen because whatever has happened, it won't last forever. It seems like there's no clear blue sky at the end of the day, but the fact that you all survived. Oh my goodness, I'm so very grateful. I'm saddened for the ones that lost people, that lost pets. I am saddened about that, but I'm so grateful for your lives and your state of being, your mindset, your mind. So I take home mindset that happiness is a state of being, and that is not talking about superficial happiness. It's a state of being and a state of knowing. No matter what you go through, you have the ability or the capability of returning to that mindset of happiness. I want to thank my amazing co-host, Trish. Thank you so much. Uh, and I want to thank the audience. Do us a favor. When you call in or when you comment, because you can comment as soon as we put our videos up, let us know where you're listening in from, please. And I don't mean the shower, the bedroom, outside. I mean, what state are you in? Let us know how you're doing. And we open up our phone lines always during our podcast. So do us a favor. If you want to be on live with us, click like on the page if you like us. And do us another favor. When we come on, you can get notification if you press the notification button, and you'll be right here with us. Even after and during the podcast, you're able to call directly to us. Again, the number is 1-888-721-9260. We talked a little about child abuse. Trish, be sure to put the child abuse hotline up and the short number for it as well. Uh, I always get it backwards so that they have it. And check out our Instagram pages. We're getting a new look, guys, without totally overwhelming you. We're including QR codes, so go check them out. Have fun with your phone and being able to go directly to us. And if you can, we would love, love, love to show you around in the healing center so that you all know where our donations are going. And again, and I must stress, it does not have to be monetary money. We understand what it is for is to make that healing center a place where you all want to come. It has been painted. If you go to our YouTube page, you get to see what we're doing. Uh, we're doing some beautiful things and making it nice, pretty, and calming for everyone that walks in. We also, and I want to mention this, we accept emergency appointments because you just never know when someone feels like they're done. We want you to be able to come in. We want you to be able to talk to us. We think about the mothers who feel like they're on edge. We want you to come in with your children so that we can talk about it and get you resourced uh, so that you can be a family. I think it's a really good idea. What about you, Trish?
I think so too.
Yeah. Now, it's not a center for drop off. We don't play that. You come with your kids. We want you to leave with your kids, but we want you to get the help that you need. We'll sit down, we'll talk to you, we'll find you resources that will calm you and keep your home happy and your children happy. We do accept emergency appointments. Now, sometimes the office is not open because we haven't gotten there. Just call us. We'll come, we'll meet you, we'll sit down and have a chat and see how we can help you. I want to thank you for today's podcast, Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast on Come On, Get or Get Happy. That's the name of the podcast, Get Happy. We name all our podcasts so that you can get them right off. Again, I want to thank my amazing co-host, Trish. Trish, I had to call her last night because I did not know how to use a reel that we do in voiceover. Yay! I found out how to do it and I was having such a great time. Go check out Instagram where we post our things and we hope that it gives you your state of being happy. Have a great day, everyone, and we will see you back here Monday morning. Don't forget, don't forget Vibe Talk After Dark is going to be playing in your radio's online stream, Vibe Talk After Dark, and we're going to make a whole new page for that. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. And whatever you do, find your state of happiness. I challenge you for that. Have a great weekend, everybody. And we'll see you next time right here on Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.
Because I don't want you just to make a resolution. I want you to think about. I was really about the moves, and then I got the vibe with it. I really took my time with it. I really love the ride with it. Real, really got the vibe with it. Got too much time with it. I really live the right way. Yeah. You can finally see a better you when you get the vibe with it. Yeah.